Why your home builder marketer playbook is dead in 2026, why lead gen's out, why you're in, the AI hype versus what actually works, and the one thing you can do tomorrow to move the needle in your marketing. Welcome back to the Time Rich Tradie podcast, where we help trades and construction business owners get off the tools, out of the weeds, and into the business that they actually set out to build in the first place. I'm James Russell, so let's get into it. Pretty excited today because we're here with Nick from Home Builder Marketers. He's an absolute savant in all things marketing and AI, specifically for the construction space. And we actually hung out for a couple of weeks, cruising around the Hollywood Hills and Midwest. I know we rode some mechanical bulls and talked some marketing here and there, which was fun. But specifically, what's really changed it's just been such a agile space lately. It's just been really fun. So welcome to the show, Nick. So happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, James. And yeah, we definitely we went 5 cities in 5 days, and that was an incredible journey. Actually, James, 6 cities in 5 days, if I'm not mistaken.
6 cities, correct? Yeah,
6 cities, 6 days.
yeah, I know, nuts, right? So it was
Yeah.
quite the tour. We'll get some more time next time. One of the things we were talking about was what has changed most in builder marketing over the last few years, do you think?
Huge. It's constantly changing, and the actions you need to constantly be taking to succeed are you could say the fundamentals are staying the same, but technology is changing, right? Because you add AI to the mix, right? You add what can you use AI for, what can you not use it for? And so some people are trying to use it all the way, some people aren't using it at all. And the biggest thing that's changed is that now for the people who actually are spending their time and who invest their time and energy into marketing, and if they're also using AI in their plan, they're really making leaps and bounds over the people who don't use AI. Or like tons of my business owner friends, even close friends, I'm like, hey, why are you using Claude Cowork? Are you using any of this technology? And they're like, no, I never tried it. I just use ChatGPT chat, and ChatGPT is getting good. They're all getting good, but it's just crazy that not as many people as you think are experimenting. When I'm not saying it can do everything, because you still need a human to make good judgment and make a good decision. And for truly, I would say that AI empowers a professional. It's not going to make somebody who's not intelligent in a subject intelligent. You could say it that way, right?
And I know that like the builders I know who, again, they're coming to me and going, look, a few years ago, even less, they were their main source of leads. They were going to architects. Architects were giving them it was building those kind of little relationships, and then they getting their leads from there, word of mouth, right? And we were speaking before about how lead gen. It's like there's this shift from this kind of lead gen space to now the personal brand, the branding, their how they're actually getting clients directly, right? And what's actually changing there, and why are the builders losing such good leads despite spending more on marketing, let's call it.
Yeah, 100%. I think the biggest thing is we're coming from a place where referrals were the biggest source of business, right? People started their business and they're able to operate on repeats and referrals. But if you think about where does a referral come from, it comes from a good relationship. It comes from doing good work for one relationship, another relationship was referred, you do good work, and it's a spiral. And that's great. But people did those deals because they trusted that person. And when you're doing online marketing and you run a Facebook ad and someone sees your ad, maybe they do want to build. The difference is there's zero trust yet. And so it's our job as business owners to actually take all the objections somebody would typically have and solve those objections on your website, in your marketing, to prove you are the reputable builder, contractor, remodeler who can actually help that person with their needs. But it's nobody's going to spend 50,000 or $1 million on a house with no relationship, and people aren't going to spend that in a month. Typically, not a brand new custom house. Like
No.
statistically, it's
Well, it makes sense,
15.
right? Like, it's again, how do you replicate that trust? And an ad with a build with us ain't gonna do it. So what are you seeing that's actually working in 2026? What is working right now? Not the theory. Where are the real results coming from? What's driving the needle the most?
Biggest thing driving the results is getting the attention to build relationships so that you can help solve people's problems. And so one of the best ways in a short term period of time to get attention, get people raising their hands, building relationships right away, it's getting on camera as the builder, the contractor, and running ads locally and having B-roll run in the background as you're talking in your paid ads. And that works really good because, again, the biggest thing is relationships. And so if you get people to fill out your form, then what you can have is you can call them and get that relationship started. And that's the biggest thing. And now be willing to nurture that relationship. So that'd be the biggest thing. And the next thing in the long term is SEO, ranking on Google and the AI engines, which is more of a long term game, but it's also a game if you're willing to keep competing now, you'll absolutely crush it in the next 6 months to a year. But it is a long term game and you can't expect quick results.
Let's touch on that for a second. So websites and first impressions. So we've got these two things. Your first impression on the ad, right? Which is again, it's like a little mini website, right? It's a micro landing page for Facebook. And then you've got your actual website. Two places where people will essentially go first, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned a couple of things there. Let's touch on that for a second. So websites and first impressions. So we've got these two things. Your first impression on the ad, right? Which is again, it's like a little mini website, right? It's a micro landing page for Facebook. And then you got your actual website. Two places where people will essentially go first, right? And you mentioned a couple of things there that were really, and I just want to touch back on it because it was really important what you said, where it was like, get your face on camera with what you're doing in the, so to speak, in the background. It doesn't matter if B-roll, whatever it happens to be, but it's not some picture with a house and we build dreams and that's it, right? It's like face, because like you said, it's how do you get someone to raise their hand to have a relationship with you? The first bit of trust is you, right? So when I got builders, oh yeah, but I look terrible on camera. Don't care. They're gonna have to get to know you at one point. So if you got an ugly mug, man, just get it out there up front, right?
And you know what's true is the people who aren't necessarily built for the camera at times perform the best. Because let's say hypothetically, we got a movie star looking person. I've just noticed this that I've seen guys who are 65 years old. They're like, dude, I'm not built for it. I don't want to be on camera. They get on camera, they're willing to say the script, and all of a sudden everybody's filling out that form. But who wouldn't trust 65-year-old John from
Yeah.
Michigan? He's been doing this 30 years. He never ran ads before, he never had to, but now he does, and people are loving it because he has so much experience.
Yeah. And I hope the listeners really take that away is just don't undersell yourself, right? If you've been doing people want to know that you're real and you've been doing the work and you're there. And so that's a good place to start. And I think that's great for their ads. Let's just, and I think if people can just take that one thing away, they'll probably make some Benjamins right then. But let's move now to the website. So again, because you guys were telling me again about how many people are losing client, they're never getting to have someone raise their hand because they're losing them in the first second because
Yeah.
people are coming there and not going. So tell me a bit about that website and what loses a deal before that first call is ever made.
Yeah. So when somebody hits your website, you want to make sure you have pretty much options for them to get a resource from you. Without scrolling, they should be able to see everything that your company does just from hitting the front page of the website. And the biggest takeaway about your website is the website is not built for you. The website is built for who you serve. And so a lot of the times we like to brag a little bit about getting 3 awards in a row, 3 consecutive years in a row. And yes, that's important. And there's nothing wrong with representing that, but that doesn't need to be your highlight reel. The highlight reel is helping your potential customers go from where they are now going through your services, whatever you offer.
I love to see that in the word you said, your potential customers. And I know one thing that you, and when we're having a chat with Seth, and it was one of Seth's superpowers, right?
Yeah.
Is he's got this ability to look at someone, and after only a couple of questions, he knows who their avatar is. Now, if you ICP, whatever the words you want to use, and listeners, that is your customer, their
Yeah.
persona. Who are they, right? Because if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. And
Yeah.
Seth is so clear is before you even put a single word on your website, on your ads, on anything, get crazy clear who they are. His name is John
Mhm.
Smith. This is his third home, right? He's back between 45, 65. He's blah, blah, blah. Or are you the deck guy, outdoor spaces? And so it's the one who's there, loves having barbecues, blah, 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 grills, whatever they call them in the US, out there. And so stand, like you said, it's not for you and it's not even for them, right? As in,
Yeah.
it's for John, right? And Seth
Yeah.
just, it really reminded me of, and get clear of what that is and speak to them. And I think you were mentioning the same thing is, yeah, have that website for them, right?
It's so important because to market, you have to know who are you targeting. And yeah, it's really funny when you talk to a company, they're like, "Oh, we target everybody." It's so let me boil this down a little bit here.
And they don't, and then they tell you sending them bad leads, right? Like, yeah, obviously, because it's everybody. You've got Cheryl who wants an extension to her trailer park home, right? That's
Yep.
not nothing against Cheryl, but that's not who we're looking for, right?
Yeah, James, I want to tell you a funny story. I want to tell everybody a funny story about this one company, and their name had to do with them doing everything. That's how they wanted to market themselves. Construction company, they do everything. Windows, doors, basements, additions, garages, everything except new builds, but literally everything. They had ads running for bathrooms, kitchens, basements, everything. They wanted to do beam removal. They want to do all sorts of things. And so they had ads running for 15 different offers, and they got 700 leads. And this was the funniest experience ever we had. I had marketing, and the weirdest one, they got 700 leads. They only phoned the first 20 leads. The first lead they closed out of the 20, they closed 2 deals out of the first 20 calls they made. The
Yeah.
first one was like a $40,000 exterior job. And then the second one, I forget what it was, but a total of 100 grand was their amount. And they didn't have the correct systems or the people in place to phone the leads. So they let over 600 plus leads go completely dry. And then because they were doing everything, now the jobs that they had going on were a nightmare to finish because you know how complicated it is to do everything. You need the tools to also do everything, right?
Yeah. You better I
Yeah.
get those leads that are the right people qualify. Anyway, so that's qualification. But that's one thing I just wanted to, because you guys had mentioned it. But you also
Yeah.
said there, just make sure it's clear. So you said the three things, because I interrupted you. You want to make sure that there's something, a bit of value you can give them, something that you can download or something. Is that right? Then
Yep.
you
Absolutely. A
want to have that.
resource.
You want a resource, and you said something else. So resource, everything what you do in that above the line.
Yes.
And what was the
So
other thing?
the first one would be the resource. The second one would be make sure that they understand your whole business in the first 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And then the third thing, honestly, those would be like the two most important. I guess put those that's two and three. First one, know who your customer is because
Oh
you
yeah.
you can't market your business if you don't know who your customer is. And the reality is a lot of people want to do a lot of things, but if you stick to one thing, market it and do it over and over again, it's way easier. You don't want to be the builder or the company owner who buys a bobcat just for one job and then it sits in the yard for 8 months. What was the point of that? So that one
Exactly.
job maybe had good profit margins, but not after buying a $45,000 bobcat.
So true. And now I know a lot of people here are a little bit like, yeah, where's the AI stuff? Because these guys are meant to, yeah, it's true. So we're gonna jump in, give them what they want,
Yeah.
which is like what I really want is not the noise, right?
Yeah.
It's where does AI in 26 for builders genuinely help marketing and lead conversion. Where are you seeing that really play the most important part right now? You can, speaking of Seth, these are things that people won't know.
Yeah. So AI is a really big buzzword right now. And the biggest thing that's working right now is things that you can automate consistently. So let me put it this way, blog creation, right? Static images, that's really good. Different types of design. So if you're trying to make banners or you're trying to make you have a golf tournament coming up you're sponsoring for your company and you need this all designed, boom, you can make that happen. You can use AI to clean your whole email inbox. You have to tell it parameters, same as if you wanted somebody like a person to organize your inbox, you'd have to give them a clear instructions, what you want and what you don't want, and clear expectations so that they get the job done exactly how you want. There's certain things like that, but you still need a human in order to finalize these decisions, because the last thing you want is your crazy robot making 10 decisions at a time. So truthfully, it can do a lot of things, and but you still need that human touch, right? So it's going to have it's going to speed you up by
Yeah, so the speeding up, and I think it was something that Seth was saying about the value, right? The value creation, because marketing is just verbalizing what you do, right? Like you do X
yeah.
and you tell people. Like it's just that's what marketing is. You do good shit, and then you tell people you do good shit, and that's. But if you don't do good shit, then you've got nothing to tell them. Right? So he was saying if you're able to use AI to again give value, and he was talking about whether it be using it to do a little design, use it to take a hand-drawn sketch and create a nice little design for something that before you wouldn't have had the money or time and budget, like a kitchen or a
Yeah.
extension, get it to them quickly within a few minutes, right? Rather than days.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something suddenly now you can jump on camera and say, hey, we went out and saw these guys and I've just sent them this little design. What do you reckon? Like, cool, marketing. Hey, done. And all you did was just tell people what you did. Right? And it was
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
and it says was saying, use it to make your life easier for the client and make the client's job easier. Don't overthink it. It's like just,
Yep.
again, speed things up. Like you said, it's still you. It's just
Yeah.
faster, better, cheap.
Here's the thing, it can do everything, but there's also a point to the marketing piece, especially like CEO and writing blogs, that with every shortcut also comes also in the past, there's ways that you've been able to gamify Google, you've been able to gamify the AI engines, but what is gamified doesn't last always the longest amount of time. And so AI can do most of the things, but that human touch and having things that are unique is very important. And so AI can do 100% of it, but it's the same thing. In order for it to do 100% of it and 100% of it, it needs to be trained. It needs to have the correct information, the right data points where it's getting its reliable information from. And so the reason why I say it speeds it up is because I've seen a lot of people try to replace a human with the AI, which in some cases can be done, but at the same time, it's not actually. I also seen people in marketing. We do marketing for hundreds of builders, and we've seen companies who actually canceled due to take AI fully. Hey, I'm gonna try this out. And then 2.5 months later, like, hey, this all of this is broken. What's going on? It's like, hey,
Other times because they're trying to, it's always the same. It's the same thing with automation. Before there was AI, it's like if you automate shit, it's just faster shit, right? And so it's like if
yeah,
you don't know how to, if you can't tell a human to do it well, AI is not going to do it any better. In fact, it's just going to do it worse, more, right? It's going to
yes,
scale the bad, right? So it's
yeah,
like if you have something repeatable that is working, that is awesome, then yeah, great. That person can now step up and have a higher capacity because that part can be automated if it's awesome. So they've got a repeatable task that's awesome, automated. But then it's stepping up out of that. And I think that comes to the part that you mentioned just before, right? With this, that client with 700 leads, right? And got back to 20 of them. And
Yeah.
it's something that we hear a lot of time from you guys, marketers who send us clients and go, hey, this client wants to quit because they're saying we're sending them bad leads, but actually we send them great leads. They just took 3 months to get back to them. But it's years ago, that's been a problem for a while, but it's been
Yeah.
probably in the last year that speed and responsiveness has, and the expectations of clients, maybe with AI, maybe just because people are just getting whinier. I don't know, who knows? But
Yeah.
how much business are builders losing from that moment from when the lead comes in onwards?
There, take this with a grain of salt because I heard this stat in the book that the Association of Professional Builders launched. But I believe it was if you respond in the first 5 minutes, you're like 465% more likely to close the deal simply because in that moment they've submitted the request or they've given you their info. And if you phone them, they're already thinking about it. So now you can expand that vision and that thought they're having, you can expand it. And most things that you remember are actually because you had some sort of emotional connection to it, right? And so if you phone that person right away and this person was all of a sudden this person has you on the phone right away. They don't have a chance to go look at more websites, more builders. You can be the one that is value driven, have them on the phone, get off the phone, send them a bunch of emails. And now who are they really going to choose? You already give them the most value. You haven't even asked for anything. And so that's
Yeah, so respond quick. Now let's talk about not just speed, but value. And you guys often talk about this fact that knowledge is cheap, right? As in
yeah.
the people can search stuff, find it out. So you guys are one of the best examples. There's nothing you guys teach that someone actually can't use. That's not in Seth's book. That's not on your channels. That's not there. Where the gift is in value and implementation, right? The judgment that the skill aspect of what it is to be you guys, right? Now, the expectation of buyers now, as opposed to a few years ago, when they inquire, what are the kinds of is value that they're actually looking to get? What's the expectations and how has that changed? What are you seeing really working out there from a delivery perspective? Not the build itself, but in that pre-sale kind of moment.
Yeah. So how most of the times the buyers have all the same problems in most markets. They have the same problems. Okay, do they have a lot? Do they have financing? Do they actually know what kind of floor plan is going to suit their family? Do they want a custom floor plan? Did they already draw it? What's going to be a holdup in their process, right? There's different things that can come up with a custom build. And I would say the best way is to answer those questions, to be able to actually help them and actually care to help. Somebody says, "Hey, I need to buy a lot, but I'm going to be looking to build in 3 to 6 months." Be perfect to create a strategy to like really actually make sure, "Hey, I found this lot, there's 5 lots here. We can help you there. Hey, did you know that there's 4 financial institutions that are most all our customers always choose this bank or this bank. And here's the form." And so actually caring, saying that's honestly the biggest thing because a lot of companies will just forget. Okay, that person said they want a lot and they want to build in 6 months. Okay, perfect. This person gets forgotten about. They try to find the person 4 months later.
Yeah,
"Oh,
right. So
do you still
it's
looking to
about
build?"
taking control of that customer journey early and
Yeah,
being their trusted advisor, right? That's the change.
you
The builders and
absolutely.
you as a builder, you're their coach, you're their advisor, you're there because the thing is knowledge is cheap, which means it's everywhere, which means people now need a compass and a GPS. They don't need just a map, right? Because that's too much. They need someone to help guide them throughout that journey. You want to leave them alone, they're gonna find a guide somewhere.
Exactly.
It just won't be you.
Because exactly. Because here's the thing: people can find those answers on ChatGPT or Claude, right? But now imagine having a builder who you can trust as your trusted advisor to You don't have to use Claude. Claude doesn't know that much if you don't give it. It knows it's smart, but if you don't give it the right inputs,
It
still
doesn't have
gonna
judgment. Shit
maybe
in, shit out.
it doesn't have the judgment exactly. So then what?
We also like to break things down and keep things simple. There's a lot of data and a lot of
Yep.
information. We're talking about AI, about websites, but we want to start pulling this back for builders and start reducing the overwhelm of what marketing is and what a marketing system in a building business looks like. So if someone wanted to start and go, okay, the not something, not yet, we're going to get to what to do tomorrow, but the five, let's call it five top things that would be part of a builder's marketing system that eventually, when done right, doesn't need the builder to run it every day. What would that marketing system cover for you? If you had the wave magic wand and have a perfect marketing system for builders, what would be the areas that would need to be covered?
A perfect marketing system. The areas that would need to be covered is the first one would be attention. So what are the ways that you're going to get attention?
Okay. Yep.
Because you can have everything, but if you don't have attention, then you're out of luck. So first
Correct.
you need to know how you're going to get attention. So the social media channels. Two, I don't know if I can. Two, I would understand how to nurture that attention, which would be a CRM,
Mhm.
right? So that'd be the second one. How can you expand and build that relationship? And the third one would be how can you give more than you take, right? So a
Ooh,
lot
I
of the
like it.
times as builders, we're thinking about how can we get this person's information, but how can we give more than we take? Because
Ooh.
these people are coming in to spend big money, right? These are big ticket purchases most of the time. And so giving more than you take really works well. And a lot of the times it
You're not
doesn't
going
even
to hear
have to
that.
be
You're not going to hear
monetary.
that system anywhere else, guys. Like that. This is the gold you won't hear elsewhere. This is the stuff that is 2026 that is not before because the expectations have changed. They take that down from Nick. This is not where it was. Getting attention. Yeah. And you mentioned get your face up there. Attention is trust, right? Nurture. They expect it quicker. They expect more touches and more help. Be their guide. It's your customer journey. Take them through it. Don't let them take themselves. They're not going to get there. And three, I love this. And from a values perspective, I know you, me, Seth, we have a lot of aligned values here as well, is focus on the value and almost the marketing takes care of itself. Focus on how you're going to give, what that product is and delivery, and just talk about it. Because that's if you're given more than you're taking and you talk about that and it's out there, then people notice. It's like it's not, it
It's
doesn't need to
the
be science. And again, it's
the
like the game of you
long
don't need to gamify it, right? And the thing is, AIs and Google and all this, they're getting so bloody smart. They can smell that shit so fast. You want to try and game it? Good luck.
absolutely.
You think you got more game than Google? Go for it, right?
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck's all I can say. Builder from Atlanta, more game than Google. Let's smash it out. So, and not we don't just like to give a bit of a framework, and I think that does simplify it. But we always talk about the neat, the next easy, actionable task, that one bite of the elephant, right? If a builder right now, tomorrow, wanted to do one thing to get himself on that path to getting the right clients and working on getting his marketing to pump, what would that be?
I got the best one, and this is extremely simple, so every person can do it on here, and it doesn't have to cost you any money also. Everybody's got a cell phone, all right? If you go on Instagram and you go to make a reel, there's something called trial reels, which means that the video will only be pushed to people who do not already follow you. So if you're worried about your friend or your girlfriend or your wife or anybody you know worried about seeing that video, push it as a trial reel because it only reaches the people who don't follow you, right? So what I recommend you do tomorrow is you get your phone out and you make 10 trial reels, 5 of you answering questions that people typically will ask you, something you've answered over and over again. Answer 5 different questions just with your phone out like this. And then if you still are on the tools, I recommend you do 5 videos showing what you're working on. I guarantee you, if You post 10 a day, you'll get 300 on each one, right? Was that 9,000? That adds up. So that's 90,000 views a month. If you do 10 videos a day, 300 views a video, right? 30 days a month, right? So that's a really cheap, actionable step you can do. And all you got to do is, normally builders are actually just advertising in their service area. So what do? You tag your service area on where the video is. It's that easy. And then if you want the secret sauce to this, then the videos that you post are trial reels that, let's say, get more views than normal. Now boost this as a paid ad, and you don't need to be an expert. Just hit boost on your local area and boost that baby to the people looking for home improvement, right? And obviously be intelligent. Don't target 20-year-olds if you're trying to sell custom builds. Make sure your age range is correct. Make sure your basic demographic details are correct. But that is very actionable, extremely cheap, because you only spend the money on the ads that perform more than the other ones. All right. So if you have 10 videos a day and 8 of them got 300, but 2 of them one got 1,000, the other one got 4,000. Doesn't it make sense to give that one a little bit of extra sugar? You know what I mean? A little bit of extra gas on the fire. Yeah.
Wow. I hope everybody heard that. Simple. Everybody here can do it, right? The only difference between that knowledge and results is getting shit done. Implementation. That's what we always talk about.
Literally just doing it, man. Or if each video is a minute, you can whip 10 videos out, 10 minutes. Authenticity wins right now. So you don't even need to have a hyper edited video. Just make it and post it, because people will respect you more if you're authentic than if you're hiding behind some fake buzzy. You may as well, if you're in a situation where it's dirty and you're uncomfortable, you should probably actually make a video and say, look, this is what I do for my clients. This is so uncomfortable. I'm under a crawl space, but we're making it happen. And people will respect that, and they'll want to hire you for their next project, knowing that you're willing to get down and dirty and even make a little funny video for social media. And it's a little bit of effort.
I love it, man. Solve the problems. Get in there and show that you do it. It's so good. And I know that this is just one of the so many nuggets of gold that you and Seth drop. And I just love, as a bit of a final thing for everybody here, that they're obviously going to want to know more and see more of you and Seth. And where can people connect with you guys and start learning more about what you're building and what they can?
Yeah. So the best place would be homebuildermarketers.com. And then second to that, we post very consistently on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. We post literally on all the platforms every single day. We're pretty
I'm
crazy.
practicing what you preach, huh?
Practicing what we preach. Yeah. We had a notification last month that it said we posted 268 pieces of content. And so I told our creative team and said, hey, because I want to even double down on that. I was like, how can we get to 500 posts per month on each platform? But yeah, practicing what we preach, and follow us along. We post everything to social media. Basically, we want to give everything away. Just like James said, the information comes for free. You can find the information everywhere, just about implementing it correct. And if you're a home builder and you're looking for that knowledge, we post it all for free. And if you need help, somebody or a team to implement it, that's where we'll have your back. But go to Home Builder Marketers if you need anything. And all I can say about James is that, hey, we have a marketing agency and a marketing team, but at the end of the day, you need great people, and a marketing team and a marketing system isn't just one person, because to execute things the best, you need people with the right skill set. You need people with the right mentality, right? You need the right person in the right seat. And what I found in, growing home builder marketers and being in the marketing agency world is, you can't have anybody just write that blog. You can't have anybody just build that website. You have to be careful. You need the right people who know what they're doing, because at the end of the day, I'm confident maybe somebody could build that website or write the blog, but the only reason we're marketing is for the outcome of growing our businesses. And the last thing any business owner wants to do is waste their money. And so making sure you have the right people is important. And hire the specialty, hire the people that know what they're doing, pay the little bit extra. And that's just why I love what you do, James, because you find great people who are able to solve those problems. And typically, when you look at a marketing engine, you're going to need the right person. So if you don't have a marketing team, you're probably going to need like a strategist before you go and hire somebody who can do SEO, paid ads, website, and all. Right. Definitely just appreciate you for having me,
Love that.
James. And I just want everybody to know the marketing is, you need the right people. It's literally that's it. From working with so many companies and seeing the companies even doing some collaboration and consulting, it just comes down to the people. The people are the business.
Thanks for that. Now, I really appreciate it. And just thanks so much for just giving all that value today. It's so value aligned. And I tell you what, though, the best way, if everybody listening, if this episode was useful and you got something out of it, the first thing, respect it by getting something done. Go and action it. Don't walk out of here with knowledge. Knowledge is cheap and doesn't get anywhere. Do something about it. And if you know someone in your industry who you know needs to hear this, who you know is doing a good job, but no one's hearing about it, share it. Yes, follow, subscribe, great, but share it. Get it out there so that people can actually get themselves out and be valued. If you're ready to start building a business that doesn't need you on it every day, as always, systemize it, optimize it, delegate it so you can scale it. You know where to find me. See you next week.